Hello, beautiful stars. Welcome to today's reading. Alright, so we are doing a fun reading today, and we did this a little while back, but for the Greek goddess and goddesses. God and goddesses. But today, we're finally doing the Egyptian deities. So let's see which deity personification is waiting to describe you. And how we're going to do is we're going to see, okay, there's one already, which god or goddesses you choose, and we'll look at your abilities or powers, and then we'll look at your interaction with the mortals or society and humanity as a whole. Okay, so we have our 4 piles. So for pile 1, you have Amit, pile 2, you have Serket, pile 3, you have Nephthys, and pile 4, you have Mesis. Okay, alright, so take a moment, stars, to tune into your intuition. Take a nice deep breath, close your eyes if you need to. And there's no particular way to do this, so when you open your eyes, see which pile or piles call out to you. Go to the timestamps in the description down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1, welcome to your reading. Alright, so you've chosen Amit. And Amit is not necessarily a deity. It's from this deck is the messengers of Egypt, and it's a creature or a being. But before we get into that, let's look into the energy of Amit here. Okay. So in this particular instance, with what's coming to the forefront here for the personification of the characteristic of Amit in this reading here, is finding balance, especially in terms of emotions. So one of the characteristics or traits that this messenger deity personifies in this reading is finding balance, especially in times of difficulty, when especially dealing with emotions or things that are weighing down heavily on oneself. That is personification that's coming to you here that resonates with the energy of Amit in this reading. So Amit here represents the kind of devouring of those heavy, burdensome, challenging emotions, and then transforming them anew to bring them into balance and to have it be reborn anew. Okay, wonderful. All right, let's see. Yes, a lot of the transmutation of the energy here. So let's look at your the abilities coming through in your deity personification here. We'll just call it deity, even though we know that this is not a specific deity. Although in some instances, especially like in the show Moon Knight, it was referenced to Amit as a deity. Okay, so let's look at divine animals. So with this, you have the ability in this personification to kind of channel guidance from power animals, like totem animals, and have it be, just connecting through the guidance of divine animals or through power totems, animal allies, both in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm as well, to help. Mainly, I'm hearing what help that arrives when or comes when it's needed. Say like, oh, it's easy to once in a while as you're walking about and perhaps you're dealing with some sort of discomfort and then a crow flies in. It's that kind of encounters on the physical level. On a spiritual level, it's spirit animal power and allies sending their physical counterpart or aspect to give guidance along the way. So that is one of your ability to connect with the animal realms, to help give guidance and receive guidance from that particular realm or group, and then to give that guidance to help others. So that's wonderful. All right, let's look at your other ability here. Meditation. Okay, so this is connecting from heart source. The ability, it's funnily, Amit, now we can get into the story, is often when a soul passed away, this is in Egyptian mythology, it goes to the duat or the underworld, and it has to go through the trial of weighing one's life and what they've done in their life, and see whether they merit to move on to basically, I guess one can think of it as paradise after death, or have their soul kind of devour, and their heart is weighed against a feather, judged by Anubis. So yes, it's funny that heart comes up here, heart's energy, heart chakra, heart soul chakra here comes up, because Amit's job is to devour the hearts of those who have committed too many wrongdoings and are unable to pass on to paradise afterwards. But as we see here, stemming from that is the transmutation of heaviness and burdensome aspects that are weighed on the physical heart, but then is able to transform and transmute through the spiritual heart or the energetic heart. And the way to clear and clarify that, not to clarify, to purify that, is through heart's core inner reflection and meditation. And I feel like we both have heart resonance here. The guidance coming through, and this is a specific message in regards to all those tuning in here, because yes, we are doing a fun reading about your abilities here, but this is also a specific message of healing your hearts, and perhaps of the experiences you've gone through. Traumas also coming up, for the traumas that perhaps some of you experience, or things that are just heavy and heavy weighing and burdensome on your heart. The message here is to go in through meditation and to relinquish those heavy burdens, so that you can transform and transmute the energy of heaviness on your heart. Okay, lovely. So yeah, we have a combination of connecting with animals and helping others, and the power of transformation that is coming through here, especially for past emotions, hurts, things like that, or anything that weighs heavily on your heart, or your emotions. All right, so let's excuse me, look at your interaction with the mortals or society or humanity here as a whole. Okay, so we have 7 of coins. Waiting for a position, I mean a situation to shift. Okay, we have 5 of Cups. We have the Hangman. We have the 2 of Wands. The 3 of Wands. And the Queen of Cups. Okay, perfect. So this message both has to do with that personal message for those for all of you tuning in that are helping to relinquish or change or shift or transmute the energy, and it has a connection with the energy about helping bring guidance as well. So let's start with the advice first. Yes, that connects to this energy here is for a fair amount of you, it's looking at progress. Progress, not the right word. Looking at what has happened, what has transpired, what has developed to a certain point in your life right now, but not being satisfied with it because something has arisen to a point where what once was expected to have a great positive outcome or a great how should we say this, a great expected outcome situation now has kind of turned sour, and it kind of leaves you a bit in limbo, not knowing where to go and kind of pondering. The specific here may get a little bit unique for each and every one of you tuning in, but there was this kind of hope or expectation or desire for a certain situation or a certain thing to come to resolution or to come out or have a certain ending or result to it. But from what transpired, especially when we're talking on the emotional realm, it hasn't come out the way that it does. So it leaves you kind of wondering, and at this point it's like, where do I go from here? What do I want to do? Or like, how is this situation going to resolve? And you're quite at a stage where things are unknown in that sense to you. And the advice here is to kind of seek out new horizons, because there's something you don't see that is coming on the horizons. But if you're looking away from the horizons, then, or looking away from the perspective future of what could be, and is focused either too much on the past or too much on any kind of heavy, burdensome aspects in the present, then it's hard to envision or see a future where your desired outcome will manifest. It's like there's great potential for it to come, but first one has to transform and transmute that energy of whatever's weighing heavily on the heart. And then once that is resolved, then whatever you expect, whatever desire of outcome that you wish to have, or whatever projects or plans you want to achieve, or dreams or visions you want to achieve, will come in great fulfillment, especially on the emotional realm, once you have sorted out what's going on in the present first, or what's going on in terms of your heart, or in terms of being in a state where your heart can heal, mend, be happy, that will alter the timeline of what's going on, because as it's difficult to shift the energy both of the past and of the future if we are lingering in one energy in the present. So where it starts is with the present. Oh my goodness, the synchronicities here, with the scale of balancing both past and future, has to begin with the present. It's time to, like Amit suggests here, devour those heaviness, those burdensome energy, that those kind of what we call stewing energy, like the energy that just loops and loops on itself. It's like, why did he do this? Why did she do that? Why did I have to experience this? Why did I go through this situation? It's that kind of revolving, stewing energy that keeps on going back and forth. And Ahmed here is indicating clearly, it's like, no. It's Anubis that makes the judgment by placing the heart of the person's heart versus the feather of Ma'at, or the feather of the deity of truth. And with that, Ahmed's job is to, yes, transform that energy. So for you in the present current moment, transform your energy so that now this is where we get to your interaction with the mortals or society or other people. Is once you have transformed the heaviness, burdensome, or any kind of residual aspects from your situation and your emotions, then you can help either be an example or a model, or actually a conveyor of message that either connects from the totem animal ally, from a spiritual realm or a physical realm, and be a guidance to help others. Like that is down long term, down the road in the future, because what needs to be addressed first is the present. But once the present flows smoothly and its energy is able to be transformed, then the future energy can naturally, it's like a blockage here. We have a canal, and the blockage is, or like a boulder, like the water's flowing through the canal, but it gets stuck where the present is, where there's a boulder there. There is maybe a little bit couple of rocks or stuff like that in the past, so it makes the water harder to flow, but the main blockage here is the present, and the future is not receiving any water and not receiving energy flow until we clear out the blockages, primarily stemming from a couple from the past and primarily from the present here, and allowing that energy to flow. So go into meditation if you need to, go into your heart's core, see what is bothering you or whatever's lingering on, do a clearing or a cleansing, and then also boost your heart with loving energy. Your heart space is where you can connect to your higher self as well, and connect to your guardians and guides. And then with that, you can also ask them for assistance and help to help transform or transmute the energy that's currently going on in your life. All right, lovely, wonderful. Pile number 1, that is the ability, your ability to transform, transmute energy, and your ability to kind of help people with that as well as you continue to go on in your daily life. A healer aspect kind of stems out of that. Yes, but first, in order to help others, we need to help ourselves. It's like that when you get on a plane, like the stewardess often says, like you have to put on your own air mask or safety features first before you can help. Yes, the people or the kid around you or something like that. All right, lovely stars, pile number 1 here. I'm hoping the energy flows through and you can find ways to transmute energy, to create it so the canal of energy can flow smoother for your future here. And with that, we will conclude your reading here. I'm wishing you a wonderful, magical day wherever and wherever you are. Remember to take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Alright, so let's see your deity personification here. You've chosen Circuit. Okay. So I see that with the characteristics of this deity personification here is that it's a matter of choosing your words wisely, because knowing that your words can cut. And we'll get into, well, I guess we get to the story now. Serket is the goddess of poisonous creatures, and has the duality of either sending the creatures to inflict those poisons or curing those infected with poisons from those creatures. So yeah, strong message coming in here in regards to words and how cutting and poisonous words can be or become. They can, and that's the dual nature of language and words as well. It can be used for benevolence, or it can be used in a very derisive or condescending way. So that's what we're getting mainly here. All right, let's look at your powers or your abilities in relation to this deification or this deity personification with circuits here. So first we have soul name. Wow, okay, that's a wonderful message. Talking about words and names have power. We'll get into this just a little bit. And we have expansion. Okay. So we have evolution on a spiritual realm aspect, and also on a DNA physical realm as well. And then we have divine animals. So I see they're pointing out 2-2 here, going from 1 to 4-4 to 2-2, all master numbers. And 1 is the initiation of the start or the connection. Okay, and also the lion energy, kind of like Leo or sun energy is coming out here. Okay, wow, amazing strong abilities or powers here. So what we are talking about, so this comes out in 2 forms. We're talking about, yes, in this reading, in regards to the format, is we're talking about the powers and abilities associated with the deity, but we're also conveying the message that comes with that power or format, right? And what we were talking about earlier with words and with how words have power, how language has power coming from the throat chakra. We're talking about here how, not necessarily word, but or language, but so much more than that, how language can help. Let me see how to explain this. So from a physical 3D perspective, we're using language, let's put it that way. But from a spiritual aspect, we're using the energy and aspect of the power and energy of the throat chakra, of voice, of truth, of reason, and we're combining those 2 aspects to give language, meaning, and power. Okay, I hope that is easy to, or I hope that was comprehensible. So we're combining the physical aspect of voice, of language, and we're combining the spiritual, energetic aspect of the power of voice, the power of truth, the power of speaking one's voice, stemming from one's individuality, together to give us, well, to give us your name or your soul name, or to give, when we name things, they have power, right? So let's say somebody, this is a very simple example, but we say somebody goes to the doctor for something, for some sort of headache or some sort of malady or illness they have. And before the doctor tells the patient what it is, that malady is maybe just a headache, it's a symptom. But once the doctor names this as something, it has so much more gravity, so much more force, so much more power. Say like the doctor diagnosed the patient with like, oh, you have cancer. That word alone, that name, gives it so much more gravitas, so much more power to that can shift and alter a person. So that's the extent of the power and nature of words and names that we're talking about here. And in regards to this, what is advised, the message that's coming through here with the abilities of the throat chakra and the ability to use words and language, is for the expansion of your own evolution and development, both for yourself and of course on a macro scale for how it influences and affects others around you. On a personal scale, interpersonal level, it can help your growth and expansion and shift and change your DNA, the way you tell yourself things. It's like, oh, I have trauma because this has been passed down through my lineage. That's one way to speak of it, but it's like, oh, this is an energy that is carrying with my lineage, and then now I'm the one that has the ability to transform and transmute this energy, or take the lineage out of this energy. You can see there the two ways to talk about it, either empowers you or disempower you. So if people subject themselves, part of your abilities here, of course, like I said, in macro scale, can help people in when you interact with them. And we'll look at your interaction with humanity and society later. But in using that power, one can either disempower oneself or empower oneself, depending on how you talk to yourself. If you talk to yourself in a disparaging way, it's like, well, that's my genetics, I can't do anything about it, that's how it is, I guess this is what it is, this is condition I have to deal with. Then that is one disempowering way that you subject yourself to. But if you use the word in the contrary, it's like, well, that's one aspect that I can make changes or shifts in my life that can help me be a healthier version of myself, then that is a lot more of an empowering way or aspect to talk about it, to use language to help your expansion, growth, health, development in all sense of the word there. And when we're talking about the spiritual aspect, it can help your soul expand and grow on that level as well. This energy mainly here is talking about tapping into the potential power of yourself, of your own inner sun, as that Leo energy we're talking about, or that lion energy, the energy that the self-esteem, the self-essence, the self-power that one can infuse, encourage, and give to oneself. And this, in your case, there's a very strong minding of words or encouragement and advice to minding how you use words, how you use language to empower yourself. And ultimately, as we mentioned on the macro scale, how it can be used to help others instead of going about the other way where it can be cutting or poisonous to oneself. That is very powerful. Yeah, so okay, let's look into your interaction with humanity, society, the mortals here. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Something's closed off here, but only, yeah, if we don't choose to open the gates here. We have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, talk about words and the voice here. And then we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, lovely energy. Okay, I see. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Seven of Swords. Moving away from precarious situations here. We have the Page of Swords. Relations with others, okay. And last but not least, we have the Fool. Lovely. Okay, let me shift this around just a little bit, Lea Stars, so you can see everything. Okay. Alright, so in regards to your interaction with humanity or the world here or society, first, it stems with your inner self. And I don't know if you realize or know, I think some of you do know, the potential and the power potential of who and what you are. We have, even though this is the Nine of Coins and this is Queen of Swords, I see both of these as queens, right? Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords here. And the aspect of Nine of Pentacles coming in here indicates what we slightly got the intuitive hit earlier, was these doors being closed. While they are closed, but instead they can be open to you, depending on what power of yourself you tap into. It's like you have strong powers of manifestation here as we come, as we see here, both with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Coins here. The power to, depending on your word, the power to manifest comfort in the material realm and on the emotional realm. But for whatever aspect at a certain moment, the gates here to the material wealth or abundance or the energetic superb affluence that can be accessible to you here is closed. And the thing is, it's just a matter of easily opening by shifting your thoughts, shifting your words, or shifting the things you tell yourself. Because like the Queen of Swords here, which is what you are, what you are embodying, especially with the energy of the deities we're tapping into here, it's like you have a firm stronghold and knowledge of who and what you are. And if you don't, certainly encouraged to use your words, go through meditation and find that aspect of yourself. Because once you do, you remember how renowned you are to yourself, or how royal or how regal you are, and tap into the energy and essence of two queens here. You can then start to unlock things in a way where you can use it through your words, use it through your intention, and use it through those aspects to manifest what you want to have in life, or and what you want to experience, both in terms of material wealth successes, but also on connections. Yeah, so connections that will open and lead to new groups in the world. So we're talking about your connection with society or humanity here, right? It opens a lot of unlimited potential in terms of what you can create, what you can form. I see this as almost kind of like a magician like here with all the elements here. We know that it's going to be very emotionally initiatory, or creating new beginnings that would be satisfactory or satisfying on the emotional realm. But I see the potential for so much more here on all four elements. On the earthly realm, on the air realm, yes, spiritually fulfilling, mentally, intellectually fulfilling, and emotional and physically. Okay, so we talked about that aspect already with the potential to manifest. And the other aspect is also using your words, using your words or language to get out of difficult or tricky situation. It's like you have this natural ability, perhaps you are an air sign or something of the sorts, but this natural ability and coming from this deity here to indicate the characteristics that you can use your words to navigate yourself out of any situation easily and effortlessly. You know how to curb, how to curtail words, how to use speech and vocalization to either appease and soothe people, or to rile and stir them up. So depending on what the situation calls for, if it's an uncomfortable situation that you need to get out of, you can easily use your words to extract yourself. Wow, okay. And even as I'm continuing on this reading right now, it's like this is the only reading so far where my voice is starting to crack up, and my voice is starting to feel perhaps a bit depressed, but not in that kind of word. Depressed means to push down, or cracking up. So there's actually a shift here, a change. And I think that's a strong word of advice coming through here for spirit. And now I'm regaining my voice again. Okay. About self-deprecation is what we're primarily getting. How you are depreciating yourself with your own voice. Thank you, Spirit. Lovely. As I mentioned this point here, now my voice is coming back and is sounding better. When you go deep within and acknowledge where you depreciate yourself from the things that you tell yourselves, like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's that kind of self-deprecation that will weaken your energy, that will limit your expansion and limit your growth, because it puts you in energy that keeps you kind of stuck, or kind of puts you also in tricky situations or uncomfortable situations when dealing with other people. It also kind of ties you within to people, relationships, or connections, or groups that perhaps is not beneficial for you. So just make sure that you tap into your inner queen power especially in terms of using your voice and how you appreciate yourself, to allow your interaction to form many wonderful bonds. And I see multiple connections here, even on a worldly aspect, right? Tap into the power of your inner self, knowing it's amazing how these cards fall in with this card. Tapping into your inner power to tell yourself words or use language in a way that empowers you and yourself, so that you go and explore the world with unlimited bounds, or limitless bounds is what I'm hearing and getting here. Because I get very diplomatic vibes from this card in this reading. And the Page of Swords often indicates an energy for that is youthful, that's energetic, that is engaging, but has great potential for so much more. And especially caps out or in conjunction with the Fool here. What I heard when I picked up this card was that the world is your oyster, especially getting the Diplomat card here. Yeah, you can be a nomad, a world traveler, a globe trekker, a diplomat for the world. But once you tap into that power and use words in such a way that empowers yourself, it allows you to communicate vocally and intellectually with other people from all across the globe in ways that will be very beneficial for you, that will open so much more opportunities for you. Like we said, the world is your oyster, but only once you've tapped into it. So if any of you are having self-doubts or is self-deprecating or not using words or language to empower you, there's an advice to move on from that, to expand from that, so you can use words in a way that empower, to heal, and to protect both yourself and others, rather than to have it become a toxic poison that only puts you in tricky situations and weighs you down. So get into your power, because your oyster awaits, and there's so much more wonderful things waiting. It's like, that's why this door is not open at the moment, because all you have to do is, once you tap in, you just have to push it open. There's no key or there's no lock, anything on this gate here. Wow, wonderful reading. Pile number 2. Amazing energy coming through. Loved your reading here. So yes, go forward and use the power of language. Enhance your throat chakra, work on your throat chakra, tell things that are empowering for you, so that you can have many wonderful adventures waiting for you in the future here, that can lead you to those paths. All right, Pile 2, that was your reading. Thank you for joining me. I'm wishing you a wonderful magical day whenever and wherever you are. Remember to take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, let's see here. So we're looking at the Deity personification of who you are, your characteristics, your powers, and your interaction with society, humanity, or the mortals. And you have chosen Nephthys. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, just like the energy of Nephthys here, there's a moment of quietude, solemnity, almost kind of like a respectful mourning here, because that is the Nephthys is the goddess that helps kind of guide or shelter the souls in the underworld, especially in dealing with grief and dealing with passage or passing on into the underlife. Okay. So give me just a second here, stars. It's finding peace, comfort, and serenity. It's almost like the energy of a vigil. When we light the flame, yes, out of respect for a certain something. What primarily stands out here in regards to Nepta's characterization here, it's lighting a flame or flames out of respect for solemnity. Okay, let's look into the powers you would have here in association with this deity to see what message is coming through here for us. Okay, so we have there's only light. And then we have inward revolution. There's some form of transformation, especially funny how we're so we're also slightly talking about throat chakra energy here, but okay, give me just a second. Getting some messages here. The inner flame or light. Let's see. What is this in regards to spirit? Okay, they want me to lay out all your cards first, but so we got a glimpse of the light. Something has to do with the throat chakra, and also okay. A lot of mystery is not the right word, but yeah, kind of a serenity, a calm, a placid energy is what we're talking about. Okay, so we have the 10 of coins or pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords. And then we have the Six of Wands. Okay, so give me just a moment here, stars. Okay, wow, lovely stars. Your message is really deep and really profound, and there's a reason why. So we're talking even a moment ago, as we have that kind of noise in the background. It's kind of like a strong boom there. Because what we've got going on is lighting the sacred flame here, with the characterization here with this deity. It goes on a cosmic level. That's why your message is so deep and profound. It goes on a cosmic level, and even though we're talking about Egyptian deity here, I'm also being reminded of Hecate. In Greek mythology, being the guide or the light in the dark that helps guide people, or people that have been lost, or like who are lost on their path. It's what we're getting here. but it's also so much more than that. We're talking on a cosmic level, and in terms of a revolution of what is to transpire from a great cosmic scale into this paradigm reality, experimentation, this planet that we're talking about. And I'll try to convey the message here without being too nebulous, because the concept here is really big. The main essence to grasp is that we're talking from the here about the cosmic realm. There's only light, this sacred light, this great sacred flame that we're talking about, lit in the middle of the night, or lit to show the way, kind of like a beacon or a lighthouse for those who are either lost on their journey, or are finding their way on their journey. Not necessarily lost, but are finding their way. And since we're talking about the power abilities here, is the power and ability to guide others, or to kind of just hold the light so that they will find their way, is to encourage and guide them to seek their own inner evolution, their own inner growth, their own inner expansion, that will eventually, in the macro scale, help with the expansion and growth of this world, this human paradigm, and then on a cosmic scale. So that's why we're talking of such great magnitude here. But being the way shower of, or being the light holder, to be a source of guidance in the night. Yeah. The 10 of Pentacles here, we're talking about the cosmic connection. So tarot and what it stems from, or part of its association, I should say rather, let me correct myself there, is with the Kabbalah, and the whole tree of life in that tradition, right? And that in itself is the evolution of, say, man in the general term, and the individual perspective in relation to man's connection to the greater or the whole perspective, which is going from the individual to the higher self, and then to source and the collective consciousness and being and totality of the entire universe. So that's why you can see this concept is quite grand in its magnitude to convey. So there is some sort of, you're not necessarily needing to do anything actively on a cosmic scale, but you're doing it just by holding the light and being a guidance for others to seek out a way, or seek out a way for themselves, or seek out the ways in which they can change and evolve and grow. It's almost kind of like for you, it's this soul purpose or soul mission, but you have this deep understanding and this deep wisdom, that there's just kind of sense of patience that is instilled within you, because you know that this purpose, this whole evolution of humanity and its consciousness is going to take and has taken a lot of time. It needs to be nurtured, it needs to grow in its own space and time. So you have like this sagely wisdom and patience of knowing how to wait, how to be patient, the vision is always held within in your purpose. Like you never lose it. Your eye is always there on your vision, and you hold it deeply within your heart for the growth and expansion of the human consciousness and evolution on this planet here, and all the entities and beings here. Because in the end, perhaps it's a combination of knowledge that they will succeed, or the hope that they will succeed, or like I said, a combination thereof. You know that evolution is a slow and steady process that needs to grow on its own pace and time, as we have observed throughout history, dating back to, say, like the beginning of the earth, the the beginning growth of the earth. Yeah, because there's many phases that that humanity's evolution has to go through. There's many things that need to die, and there's many things that need to transform, and there's many things that needs to shift, and then from that can begin cycles of rebirth anew. And as they shift away from that, then that's when growth can take place. But like I said, there's almost this kind of inner knowing here that eventually, way down the line, the end, we don't know when, that they will come to a point of success. But it has to be done slowly. Well, not has to be done slowly. Let me correct myself there. It can take a long time. Yeah, it's what I'm saying. It's the message that's coming through. So the growth, expansion, and evolution of the human species and consciousness can take a while, but there is hope or knowledge that it will come to a point where it will be quite elevated or has achieved a really high sense of or high level of growth. Yes, and your job in the process, your role here along the way is just to be the light bearer within this growth and expansion, evolution for humanity. Wow, okay. So let me give an example that might help. Say like there's a lighthouse in all the dark seas and the surroundings, right? It's like you are that lighthouse that continue, or the light keeper of the lighthouse that continue to make sure that the light or the flame never goes out, so that those who are trying to find their way, whether they are on ship or whether they are on land, to find their way so that they get to safety, and they can achieve whatever they need to achieve, whatever goals they need to accomplish. So that's some really powerful personification coming through here, especially with Nephthys. Being kind of like the person who shows and guides the way here. Wow, okay. Yeah. Yes, you're holding the light because there's only light. And for their inward revolution here, for humanity's collective consciousness and growth here as a whole. Amazing. Lovely stars of Pile 3 here. Keep on your path. Be that light holder. And continue your purpose. It seems that you already know. And yes, the patience is already there. So you already have great magnanimous kind of energy here, for one. And then your magnanimous purpose here, that's two. Leads to very hopeful and very successful future in terms of helping humanity and how it can grow. Wow. Applause to that. All right, Pile3, such a wonderful, amazing reading. Keep at it. That was your reading, and I'm wishing you a wonderful, magical day whenever and wherever you are. Take care of yourself. Remember to shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile4. Welcome to your reading. All right, so we are looking at your deity, Egyptian deity personification and interaction, your abilities and powers and your interaction with humanity, society, and or the mortals here. And you have chosen Mises, also pronounced Maes. Mises is the Greek form of this pronunciation. Okay, so Mises or Maes. So the energy coming through here, I'm getting a very righteous, astute, righteous in a positive sense of the word. I know there can become a negative denotation with that, but yes, I'm getting that kind of righteousness, upholder of truth, upholder of kind of almost like a hero characteristic or trait, right? Or the archetype of a hero. Yes, that's what's coming through here. Being the upholder, the carrier, or the what's that word? The not supporter, but upholder of what's right, what's just, noble. Yes, what's very noble. It's always also what's coming through here. Okay, so that is the characteristic personification we have here for you in regards to this god, this deity. Okay, and let's look at your abilities or powers here. Visualize. Okay. Wow, okay. Amazing. Okay. And then we have Divine Feminine. Okay. So leading by example here is primarily what we have going on. It's you have this noble, heroic characteristic about you that when people look to you, they are in so much awe of you, so much respect, so much honor, because they see the nobility and essence of the heroic traits that you embody, that you carry. And that in itself is a natural inspiration to others. When you see somebody, we often say, you know, who's your hero? Who do you look up to? And that is what you're embodying here, because you have this natural sense of justice, of honor, that carries through, that you hold and embody so well and allow space for it. Just holding it and allowing space for it, that it pervades so naturally that your energy, when it connects with other people, when it interacts with other people, they recognize it, and that's why they become kind of awestruck with you, or they have so much respect towards you, because they see you as this natural embodiment of light that is so one is serene, but also B, at the same time, so magnanimous that they can't help but have a natural feeling of reverence almost towards you, or a great sense of respect for you. And the funny thing that's coming through here is you're doing it so naturally and in such a way that is actually kind of counter to sometimes the energy of what we see here for Mayas or Mises. Okay, I'm just going to use one name so we don't get convoluted here. We use Mises. So Mises here is often depicted as the god of war, son of either Sekhmet or Bast, depending on which history lineage you look at. But regardless of where it comes from, it's also that's why we're pointing out the genealogy here too, because Bast is perceived, it has the energy more of kind of that gentle, not necessarily docile, but the gentle aspect goddess of the Eye of Ra, whereas Sekhmet has more of that kind of aggressive, bloodthirsty characteristic or traits associated, that kind of strongly clearing, burning, to cut down and transform what is necessary, what needs to be done. And we see that in the lineage of Mises here, because depending on the perspective, Mises is thought to be the son of either Bast or Sekhmet. But in this reading, what the energy is coming through, interestingly, is why not carry both of those energy, is what we're getting here. It's like there is the energy, the strong energy of needing to be assertive, needing to draw clear boundaries, needing to take firm stance, needing to be passionate when the time calls for it, to protect the things that we value and what matters, and for when we really need the strength and kind of that masculine divine energy to stand in and stand up for when we see something is unjust or something that is wrong, we step into it. That is embodied here certainly with Mises as the god of war, to protect and honor what's right, what's just, what needs to be upheld, especially in terms of Mises is associated also with upholding the laws of Ma'at, or upholding what's right and what's truth by the laws of the universe. And the other aspect, especially as we see with the Divine Feminine coming in here, you, or the majority of you tuning in, tend to hold or embody this more, how should we describe that? Because we said there's both energy coming in through here, right? And it's being depicted. That's why people view and respect you the way that they do. But this is where we can say it's the Divine Feminine is leading by example. Let's say the Divine Masculine is leading through assertion, through initiation, whereas Divine Feminine here is leading more through example. It's like seeing, what's the best example for this? Say, like, take a figure from history that has done a lot, like Martin Luther King, for example. It's leading through action, but at the same time, it's also leading through example, right? Yeah, that's actually, that's why they brought that example to me just now, because it's a very good example of embodying and personification of both masculine and divine feminine energy, both in one's. Thank you, Spirit. A crow just landed over there on the fence. But yes, it's the embodiment of leading assertively through example. And we have that perfectly captured here with the Martin Luther King example, and also with Mises here and the energy that he embodies as a deity. protecting and honoring what's right. But when people see how he upholds the truth or universal laws of Ma'at and the heroic characteristics and traits, they are in reverence of him. Wonderful. So that's what we've got going on here in terms of the abilities you embody naturally and what you project to other people and how they perceive you gives you that give them and you that sense of honoring and respect that is mutual and shared here, and then they can look to you as an example for the righteousness, the truth, or the benevolence that society can embody. Yes. Okay, wow, wonderful. Okay, so let's look at your interaction or connections or relations with society, the mortals, the humanity here as a whole. We have the star. Talk about a vision in the night. Yeah. We have the Ace of Swords. Words of wisdom and truth. Pierce through and cut the veils of deception. We have the King of Coins. Perfect. It's nice to see the energy depicted, the more challenging energy depicted, as we'll discuss here in a little bit. And we have the High Priestess. Okay, so we have two. Okay, let's see here. This is more so being guided. Okay. Alright, so what we've got going on here, lovely stars, in regards to your interaction here, or your connections or contribution to society. Yeah. I love how each of these falls synchronistically with each of the main cards, and this is just up on its own too. We'll explain that all in just a little bit. So here, like we mentioned already, people respect, have reverence for you, because they see you as this shining star. I forgot what I said earlier, kind of like a star in the night, a light in the darkness. But yes, they see you as someone that portends hope, that portray characteristics that they admire, that they can look up to, the hero type archetype, the heroic archetype personalities that we've already mentioned. And that's where they see you as this shining, brilliant star, with so much respect they give towards. Because here, you have the ability to cut through nuances and lies and deceptions with almost like with the sword of truth here is what I'm hearing, but also kind of like the sword of truth of Archangel Michael, who also I connect to whenever we do readings. Yeah. So yes, cutting through the nuances, cutting through lies, cutting through deceptions. And that leads us to here with leading by example, right? With Divine Feminine, as we talked about already. And we see the challenging aspect of the energy of society coming through here, of those who are in power, but for their own benefit and their own gain. And they do it through the exploitation of the greater masses or of society, and the suppression thereof as well. So the exploitation of society, the suppression of society, just for their own benefit, and own selfish gains and means. We have also Four of Pentacle energy coming through here strongly, because of them hoarding that power, holding that power. In part of what you do in terms of leading by example, with holding that revere, heroic archetype, is to kind of inspire people, so strongly inspiring people for themselves to stand up against injustice, for the people themselves to cut out deception, or whenever they see wrongdoings or things that are unjust, they can be inspired by looking up to you or remembering you. It's like, oh, this is what pile number 3, somebody I remember in my life, how they deal with things, kind of inspires me to stand up when I see other people being trodden upon, or being stepped upon, or being oppressed in some form, shape, or way. And the message we're getting here is, in regards to our High Priestess, is that this is almost like subtly guided in a way. Both the personification and the characteristics that you hold. There's some sort of kind of like a natural knowing of universal law. Is, how does one explain this? It's like you have this natural perception and conception of the natural laws of the universe. Yes, part of it is guided there by guardians and guides and, higher self and source as well. But it kind of flows naturally to you and through you, because Mises is the upholder of Ma'at, of the universal laws. And you have this natural knowing of just how to do it naturally, of how to, it's like when you see a situation or you spot an energetic dynamic between two people or a group of people, you can naturally tell either that's right and that's correct and that should be further promoted, or you can see like something's not right here, something's wrong. It's like you feel innately within you that even though if you just kind of stepped onto the scene and barely is getting a take on the scene or the situation going at hand, something naturally invokes within you, because knowing the laws of the universe, you're like, something doesn't seem right here, something's a bit off. That's where I need to step in, and I need to kind of invoke the courage within me to kind of point out what is not right. Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. Amazing. All right, Pile 3. Yes, so part of your characteristics and the power that you embody to your interaction with people and connections and humanity and society as a whole is just to be a prime example, to be a heroic figure just by leading by example. You don't actually have to do all too much, because just being who you are will naturally encourage others to be and do like you, as you uphold whatever is already natural, whatever truth that flows through you. the embodiment of literal universal truth. I feel like not a lot of people are, have that capability. So much reverence, respect, and honor, and kudos to you. Just go forward, continue to lead by example, and then help other people, inspire other people to take action accordingly as they see situations play out. All right, Pile3, that was your message. Such a wonderful, lovely message, and a wonderful, lovely being that you are. With that, I'm wishing you a wonderful, magical day whenever and wherever you are. Take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars.